Hey guys, this is IntroducingEmy and we're back with another 100 Days of Making Comics. And since the last video, which I think was kind of like a speed draw of the page right before this where the reptoids are killing the cow, I've gone ahead and finished 2 pages. I actually had some downtime before a con. I probably should have been working on updates, but I wanted to get some more redos done. This was one of the pages. And as always, if you want to see these pages like close up and compared to the old ones and like really have some time with them, go to tryinghuman.com and click on the Trying Human First Tries button, which is, I think it's like on the right hand side and it's like tan and red, and there you can see like all my comparisons. But anyway, so this is the one page I did, which is chapter 5, page 159. And this is the new version, and this is what it looked like before. So kind of gray and drab and really bright considering that they're out at night. So like I tried to make it a little darker. I may still lighten this up. It's like she gets a little lost in here. It's kind of hard to see 8 against all these dark colors. Like I like how bright it is right here, and they are supposed to be under like an emergency light. But yeah, I still might make it a little lighter in some spots in here. It's kind of dark, but for now, it's fine. I'm not changing it. And then I did page 160, which is the page right after it. I'm just gonna go in order with the redos this time around. So this is the new version and the old version. So pretty different. One of the things that changed is Roger. Like if you're looking at Roger and 8, Roger's on the left and 8's on the right. This whole scene now, I had this bad habit where I would just kind of draw the characters from whatever angle I wanted, like swap them back and forth, because I didn't really think too much about like the staging of the scene. So now Roger is flipped around in nearly every panel, and 8 is flipped around in a lot of panels. So that's actually something I'm going to try to work on today. I'm prepping the next page for redos, so like all the text and everything is there and the basic layout. But on the old page you can see now Roger is on the right hand side there, and then on the left hand side there, so it like switches back and forth a lot. The problem is 8 is leading the dialogue in this panel, and I don't want to cross the tails of the bubbles. So what I usually do is when I'm prepping the pages, for redo, I get rid of all that and I make a duplicate of the inks, and then I just cut out the, get rid of that for a minute here. I just get rid of the old gutters. And I basically use the old inks as like my new sketch, sort of. I mean, I go over it, but so like here, for instance, I'm gonna flip them around so that they're now at the right angle. This whole panel down here is gonna get totally redone, so I'm just gonna scrap it. I don't want 2 panels on the same page where she's basically doing the same action. It's kind of boring. And then this panel, I'm gonna drop her at an angle to make it seem like she's more shocked, because she's like finding out that oh, you know what I could do here? So I don't like doing this. I don't like having dialogue sort of like, yeah, that's rough, man. That's really rough. I'm gonna have to figure out how to do this, because she's saying this, but he's saying that, and it's just a little like, Maybe I'll do some other like little panel in here just so I can. Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna have to do. I don't like doing that. I don't like adding more panels than were there originally or like messing with the originals too much. But if they're pretty atrocious and there's not a lot I can do, then that's just what's gonna have to happen. Also, like, this is really, really big. Okay. Oops. And I'm just gonna draw in my live area. That's what these teal lines are. This is like the bounce for the printers. I know like lots of people break it down even more where they'll have like absolute dead space, then like a bounce area where like dead space is a really cool video game. No, dead space on a comic is usually like space that will absolutely be cut off by the printer no matter what. And then like there'll be another space that's like a gray area where it might bounce in, it might not, but it's like extra art or extra, yeah, extra art and information out there, but nothing that you absolutely need. So like, for instance, this bubble here, it's okay if it gets cut off a little bit because there's no text or anything right in that little spot that you would need. But like, I just do kind of like live area, dead area. Like, if all of that got cut, I wouldn't care. And I don't really mind like the bounce. Like, I don't get to like caught up on the whole like, oh, but if it bounces thing, because like every printer, I've had printers that can bounce up to like half an inch and I'm like, meh, if that happens, that happens. Anyway, so for this panel I wanted to do something where 8 was like leading Roger away because I realized like, and I'm surprised nobody else has ever pointed this out to me, that maybe they have noticed, they just didn't want to hurt my feelings. So like in like a page and a half, I think, Roger and 8 are suddenly standing outside the Majestic bunker, even though up until then they were just standing outside this like emergency exit from when Roger met Maureen and the Greys and everything, and it's just like they move but don't. Like there's no panels of them walking or anything. This isn't great. I think what I'm gonna do is like have I tend to draw 8 really posy compared to a lot of the other characters. So like here, her elbow might get a little cut off. I don't know, I'll have to decide. I kind of want her to be like, come this way somehow, and then Roger's hand out. I think wait, like who the hell are you? Okay, but not like that. I hate when I sketch characters. A lot of times, like, if I have one character, like, doing one thing, I tend to have another character, like, when I sketch them in, their arms will be kind of doing the same thing again. So, like, I have to be careful about that. Bad habit. But I guess if you're just, like, thumbnailing stuff out, then I'm trying to like I'm not necessarily like re-scripting the scene a whole lot, but I am sort of rewriting Eight's actions a little bit. She was like super flirty with Roger early on, which is okay. I've got no problem with that. But like I think people, because I always drew like hanging all over Roger, people kind of interpret it as just like flat out slutty, which is sort of a shame. So I'm trying to keep her distance a little more, but she's still sort of a hanger on. Like early 8 is supposed to be like New Earth Harley Quinn, and then 8 later in the story is more like New 52 Harley, where she like joins the Suicide Squad, and she's like strong woman taking care of herself, don't need no man kind of. Oh god, I don't know what I'm doing. That's what I'm trying to say. Alright, so I like that a little better. I'm gonna shrink it down a bit and then I know this looks strange, but I really want to like have the space taken up a little better. And then oh, that's right, Roger might cut her off there, so let me I know like let me get a little closer here and I'll show you what I mean. So like right here, Roger's cutting her off, and a lot of times when I have one character cut another character off, I know like all you have to do is basically just have their dialogue, the person who's getting cut off, their dialogue just has to end with like a dash or a double dash, depending on like how you're doing it. But a lot of times I like to have the other person actually like have their bubble sort of intrude onto the space of the other bubble. I don't do it all the time because sometimes like if the tail of their bubble's going one way and I put the competitive bubble over top of, is that like a competitive bubble? That sounds strange, but I don't like to have the bubble over top of their dialogue tail whenever I put it in there. So that may or may not happen this page. I kind of like the spacing of it being a little bit away. So we shall see. We shall see. And then right here, so Roger in this panel. Oh, my tummy just grumbled. I had a huge breakfast and I'm already hungry. I can't imagine why. So, in this panel, he's not going to be talking anymore, so we can just erase that. know. I don't want to give him like DreamWorks eyes, you know, where it's like that kind of an eyebrow. Usually with a big smile, but I don't know. I'll figure that out. I'm getting too far into it. But anyway, this panel he's going to be looking at oh my gosh, my tummy is growling so loud. I hope the microphone's not picking it up. I'll be embarrassed. Anyway, so he's looking at 8 in that panel, and then I think here, I'm just going to do a close-up on his eye. It's funny because like I have Roger coming up on an upcoming page, and there's like a close-up on his eye, but he's all like, he's deranged. Do something like that. So now he's got a warrior's eye. And I'll put a little bit of blonde hair over top. And then I'll probably put a texture or something right there, just so I don't have to like get hardcore in the shading. And then let me go like this. I like to know about like how far I turned it. I wasn't really paying attention. I'm trying to use her earrings and her shoulders as like a leveler. Okay, I'm gonna go with the shoulders since that's a little more. So then what I do is, don't worry, I don't want these hands. I don't need to save them for anything, so if I draw over them, it's okay. Now, this is not how I do my current pages. Not really, anyway. I sort of kind of do this sometimes if I did a layout at like 1 in the morning, and then when I look at it, you know, the next day I'm like, oh, you know, not what I had in mind. Then I kind of tend to go over it. But generally, like, my layouts aren't so bad for the new pages. I say that now, but 3 years from now I'm going to be like, garbage layouts that I did in 2015. So anyway, but I kind of do this weird, like, sketching on top of my layouts that I don't really do too much. Where's my thing? So that's at negative 26 degrees. So when I go to do that panel, I'll know. And then I think wait. Like that, right? Yeah. How do draw finger? Gosh, he looks so much smaller here than him. MB, make bigger. Well, so now, since that has its own panel, I can actually put that. I'm going to have to slide some things around, but that's okay. Do a little electric slide this way. My tummy, my goodness. Shh, tummy, no. It hungers. I don't know what I'm even going to have for lunch today, so it needs to shut up. Okay. And then we'll do this panel here. Which Oops, I didn't even... Where's my head? Where is my head today? So, if I'm going to have this panel extend a little bit, or, I don't know, sit differently in the gutter area, I want to... See, this bothers me. See, okay, so I know like most of this episode is just going to be like me explaining my thinking, but maybe somebody will find it interesting. See how this panel, even though it extends higher up into the gutter still touches all these top panels. So a reader will naturally be drawn to this bubble because this bubble is technically closer because it's in the gutter that's touching these panels, whereas this bubble is not in a gutter. This bubble's sitting all pretty and happy in its own little panel world. So if you go from these top panels, like just pretend you read this whole top panel as one. It's technically going to be two panels, but that's beside the point. So when you read this, your eye, even though you're supposed to go whoa over here, you're supposed to do your Z path down to this bubble, your eye's still going to want to go, gutter right there. Okay. So yeah, I shouldn't do that. I get back up. What I should do, though, is I could go like this. Now that's singing a song I can get behind. You know what I mean? Like, and then I can, Yep, I think that is singing a song I can get behind. Then we'll come in here. So now we have like one big mega panel, sort of. I should also mention I don't do vectors. Because I'm a bad person. I just don't. I don't know. I know a lot of people really dig them, but the only time I sort of do vectors is, you know what, Roger, wait, you're gonna end up being just like a part of everybody else. Okay, there we go. I don't know, I just don't like vectors, and the only time I really use them is when I'm, inking. I think those are technically, in Manga Studio, they're kind of like some hybrid vector thing. Somebody explained it to me once. I don't know if it's still like that in EX5, but because I think it technically like renders out its it renders it like the way you would a like a 3D graphic. So you can like render it into vectors and render it into PSDs and that kind of a thing. So I have a few people who are thinking about translating Train Human into different languages and stuff, and they want my sound effect vectors, but my sound effects are all hand drawn for the most part, save for like the really old stuff. But The old stuff is not like salvageable for that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna have to find people who can draw and be able to redraw sound effects in different languages. I'll be curious to see how this all comes out. I think I'm also gonna push this drawing of 8 up higher. I'm actually gonna be going over my time here, which lame. Now, I used to be really concerned about the fact that I worked digitally but didn't work in vectors. Then I think of all the people who like work traditionally and just scan their stuff in and they're like, there's my comic. You know, like everything's like hand inked and like all the text and stuff. So I don't feel as bad, I guess, as I could. Maybe I should bump that one down. See, if I was going to design this page now, I would not have bubbles like aligned so much between two panels. I don't really have an option. This is just the way. I try to do like more flowy kind of back and forth, not like doosh, 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 doosh. I don't know. It's probably bothering me more than it should, but that's okay. Oh, and I just made this dead area purple so I know when I go to sketch like what I can keep and what I can't. And I guess for the text I should do the same thing. Throw in my approximate text position. Oops. We'll make it green. Alright, and so then now what I do is I just basically start at the top and I take a panel. I said I take a panel, there we go. And then I open up, I have a working file here. Is it rough panel redo? Give me that. This is my working file. I have like an effect that I put on the layer and then I will start working on it. And I don't really want to start in this video because I've got less than a minute left for my 30 minutes today. So I think, yeah, that's a good jumping off spot. I hope this wasn't like a lame video. I wasn't really drawing much, so. But alright, yeah, so that will be it for this one, and I should probably go get something to eat, since apparently I'm starving to death over here. So I will finish this up either on or off camera, and I will show it to you guys, and that'll be that. Alright, I'll see you guys later. Bye!